So, as we stated before, Pudge is not a regular hero. He's not a regular mid by any means. It's very, very different hero. The way you play him is very different. The way you go about things is very different. And you are going to be laning against a Tinker. Tinker is especially good against Pudge simply because Tinker's got pure damage. His laser is pure, and that really screws up Pudge because Pudge is great against almost all magic damage heroes. He's okay against physical damage heroes. You can build towards that, but you can't really do anything about pure damage. And on top of that, Tinker does have a huge burst of magic damage as well, so Pudge sometimes does have some difficulty dealing with that as well. You probably, in this game, they have a lot of magic damage, right? The Tiny has something like 1200 magic damage in one burst. Tinker depends on what he makes, whether he goes for a Dagon or not. He's got a huge nuke potential. Then, of course, Tusk has some magic damage. Well, that's also a fair bit of magic damage between Snowball and Ice Shards. And then, obviously, Silencer has some nukes as well. So, to be very honest with you, this game, you should, right away, you should be looking to go for a pipe, or even having a casual. If you're going mid lane, then you should definitely keep a casual cloak just for sustain and extra magic resistance, because the flesh heaps, yes, it is a lot, but it's only a lot if you're getting a lot of kills or assists, or you're in the range of getting the kills or assists and whatnot. So now your item choice is fine. The only thing different that I would have done is definitely buy one more salve, because Pudge relies on getting damage from rot to get last hits. It's 30 damage, and as soon as you're going for a right click, you just turn rot on for just half a second, just click it and click it again, and you get that extra 30 damage. And so essentially your right click damage at the moment is 87 damage, and really it's really difficult for other people to deny your creeps. You should be able to get your last hits pretty fairly easily, but the only thing is, obviously, you're gonna start draining your health pretty quickly, and you need a lot more reach. And especially against a Tinker, doesn't matter who you're playing as mid, Tinker is gonna nuke you down a lot. So you do need a lot of regen. Well, at least 2 sets of regen before you start to get your bottle. Looks like Tinker is missing from his lane. So I'm gonna... Okay, there he comes. Now, do you know... how much do you know about creep aggro? Or rather, what do you know about...
The basics here. If you attack the opponent, they'll all start attacking you. So you can kite them, move them around closer to you if you need to get last hits easier.
Okay, yeah, that's good. And what about the range? Do you know what the range is?
No, I don't know. I know that their range creep gives about, at the start, the same amount of XP as all the melee ones.
No. The range of the creep aggro.
Oh, no, I don't know that.
So it's 500. So roughly 500 means about this much. That's your creep aggro. So if you standing right here, if you right click Tinker, then apart from this creep, these two creeps are going to be pulled over. So that's your range. Now, if you want to learn mid, I can give you a guide. Sharks guide to mid. I think this is the one. WordPress. 5th of September. That's 2013. Is this the latest one? There we go. And now this is Chalk's guide, and even professional people have learned a thing or two. People like Dendy, literally, Dendy has learned a thing or two from Chalk's guide. So I will link that in. This should keep you busy for the mid lane for the next, I don't know, 4 to 5 months. It took me it took me about 3 months to kind of learn, implement, and make second nature all the things that are in this guide, and it will take you a long time to do that. It's really detailed. Once you learn that, you're pretty much set for the first 8 to 10 minutes of the mid lane. That's it. Yeah, it's extremely good. All right, let's get back to this thingy. So you this is pretty much where you should have aggroed the creeps up to the high ground, because what you want to do is you don't want to be here in the low ground for two reasons. Number one, you don't want to be this close to Tinker because he's a ranged hero, you're a melee hero. He should be right now, he should be attacking you constantly, harassing you, and let's see what he leveled up. He leveled up rockets. If you're playing Tinker, you always want to level up laser at level 1, and what you want to do is, as soon as, let's see, 10 seconds ago you did do, there was an opportunity. So when you were coming up for this, okay, he had, never mind. So when you were coming up for this last hit, he should have lasered you. You can't blast it, and then he denies it. And that's why Tinker is so good, because you can essentially deny every single range creep from the enemy by lasering them as soon as they go for the last hit and denying that range creep. And by that way, you can pretty much outlevel the opponent almost like by a whole 2 or 3 levels by level 7 or 8. You're going to be level 6 by the time he's level 4. And that is a huge advantage if you actually do that. And the higher levels, the higher you get in your MMR bracket, the more you're going to see Tinkers actually winning the lanes pretty damn hard from the enemy mids. And this is pretty much what you need to do. You need to bring a support in, you need to harass him, you need to zone him out of the lane, you need to try to kill him. A little bit of a miscommunication with the chaining of the spells.
Yeah.
He should have waited a little bit before he stunned, because he wasted at least half a second on the stun. But now Tinker is on the high ground, you're on the low ground. You actually can't do anything about Tinker. He can still right-click you. So this is, again, a great opportunity for you to right-click Tinker and bring the creeps back. At least these creeps should be all the way up till here. And you want to keep them here. Or actually, not even here. You have a range creep right here. So all you want to do is you wanna stand around here at this point. And then you want to right-click Tinker. And what's going to happen is all these 4 creeps, are going to start attacking your range creep. Once that happens, these creeps, your creeps, are going to actually move up to kill this range creep. And then Tinker is going to be occupied with these creeps, while you're going to be easily able to get these creeps and farm these. Obviously, these creeps are going to kill your range creep pretty quickly. So then what you want to do is, let me put on free camera. Then what you want to do is you want to retreat up to here, and obviously tower range is about this much. Now you do not under any circumstance want these creeps to get under tower range. So what you're going to do is you're going to pretty much just move about, like circle about this area constantly until your creeps from here get over to this point. And what you're gonna have is you're gonna have 4 of your new creeps and around 2 or 3 of these creeps fighting your new creeps, and then Tinker's new creep wave is gonna come over and join. And then what's gonna happen is you're gonna have a pretty sweet lane equilibrium where the Tinker's creeps are constantly gonna be pushing in, so you can just right click away at your creeps. They're going to be closer to your tower. Nobody's going to be able to come and gank you because you're this close. You're like farming right here. You're really close to your tower. Tinker is going to have to come all the way up to your high ground to be able to take any last hits, and then that's your opportunity. That's the time where Ogre sneaks in from behind, and then you guys kill Tinker. So just simply pulling creep aggro allows you to kill Tinker. It's that simple. And obviously, knowing this, you don't want to fall for this trick um, if the opponent does this. If the opponent does the same thing, you don't want to be standing up on this high ground and waiting for somebody to come and gank you from behind. So if that does happen, then you want to maintain full creep equilibrium on your side as well. And pretty much in the professional games, if you ever watch professional games, you'll notice that often at times in the mid lane, there's going to be two creep waves here, and there's going to be two creep waves here, and both the mid laners have a full set of creep waves farming at on both sides of the river solo. And this is this is why they do this, because they don't want to go on to the enemy side and farm that because it's dangerous. So, yeah, let's go back to the player perspective and see what's happening. Now, so far, you've been out leveling and out CSing the Tinker pretty much because he wasn't even there for the first whole creep wave, and then he spent some time putting this ward up and he missed some last hits. So far, your lane is going pretty well. Now, this is what I meant. Like, you don't want to pull the creeps into your tower, because now what you're doing is you're going to be pushing out the lane. If you pull the creeps into your tower is going to kill those creeps really fast, and then your lane is going to be pushing. You want to keep the creeps. You want to keep the creeps above this line. You want to stay above this line, and you want to keep the creeps outside of the tower range. Now, this is probably not the tower range. If I can press Alt, I can see. Oh, here's the tower line. So you want to keep the creeps outside the tower line, and if you press Alt, you can get this. You can get this range of the tower. So you always want to keep them outside of the tower, so that you can keep a nice lane equilibrium. Now, this is the point where you've come to a pretty low HP bar. You can't go into the lane. You can't farm because Tinker is pretty much going to nuke you straight up. He's got 10 seconds to the late to rockets. He's got a really horrible skill build right now. But it is 200 damage plus 80, so that's 280 damage, and that's one more right click and you're dead. So you recognize that. That's why you're staying this far away. But the only issue is that you don't have regen. If you'd had a bottle, then sorry, not a bottle, salve, then you would have gone here. You would have salved up, and you would have straight back to the lane and straight back to farming. Now, this is such a good opportunity. If we go back a little bit, all right, right here. This is such a good opportunity. He just used his rockets. He doesn't have rockets anymore, and he only has two skills at this point that are worrisome to use: rocket and laser. He hasn't used laser. At the very most, his laser is not more than level 2, because he himself is level 3 at this point in time. So his laser is not more than level 2. And what you should have done right here is hooked him into the tower, and that was a guaranteed kill for you. And right here, he actually gave you the opportunity as well. If you hooked him right here, he was guaranteed dead. And you get plenty of time. And if you had a salve, you would have salved up right now. And by about this time, you would have been close to 600 health, which is almost full health. And then you would have been looking for kills. You would have been looking for that perfect hook, because Tinker against a Pudge, you never ever want to go above this high ground right here, because once you even actually not even that, you don't even want to stay around this area right here, because Pudge can just stand around on this at this point, and he has at level 3 enough hook range to get you from here. So right now you can quite easily get a straight hook. You can look for hooks, you can get a hook, but obviously because you didn't have a salve, you are very scared. You're playing very scared because you think you might die, and very rightly so. All because you don't have a salve. Now, this is just rare to see a enemy mid laner against a Pudge go this deep into the tower. He's literally diving you so hard right now, and all because you don't have a salve. He's able to have the balls to do this. Thank God you did kill him, because that would have been just sad to see him do that. But obviously, against a Pudge, you don't want to dive somebody this hard. Did he not use laser on you? Oh, he did not use laser on you. Yeah, he should have killed you actually. Um, he had he was in range of laser. He was in range of laser, and then he would have been in 2 seconds. In 2 seconds he would have had rockets. So right here he should have lasered you, and then sent and thrown out rockets, and then you would have been pretty much dead. And even after you hooked him, he had the opportunity to laser you, but he panicked and he lived. So all in all, wonderful for you. But keep in mind that was the bad play coming out from your opponent that allowed you to live there and allowed you to get a kill. So, yeah. Definitely you need always 2 sets of regen on a Pudge, and you need plenty of regen against a Tinker. Now you decide to let's look at your decision to go back to go to the mid lane, go to the top lane after you went back to base. Now you don't have boots, you can't run people down. Your hook is only level 3, which is level 2, which is not really good range. It's not a lot of range. 1100. Yeah, it's only 100 range less, but it's really underwhelming, to be very honest. The damage is pretty low as well. Ideally, you don't want to go for a gank at this point in time. You want to gank at the very least after level 6. At level 6. And also another time, so this is what Chalk goes over his guide. You don't want to TP aggressively like this, especially if you are at this point. Let's say you were. Let me put the free cam on. Right, there we go. Let's say these guys. Who? Oh, it's a what's it called? A Tusk and a Silencer. Let's say they were under your tower right here, like somewhere around this range. That's the opportunity that you should be looking for to go and TP over to this tower. Definitely not when they're this far away. Your contribution, what you want to look for is how much can you contribute when you TP in like this, and I will tell you why you want to carefully assess this afterwards. So what you want to see is what you can contribute. Now, what does a Pudge actually do? He hooks for somebody, and then he stuns them for a very, very, very long time. 3 seconds, it feels like a lot longer than 3 seconds, obviously, because you are hooking them, so that's some like second and a half as well. So that's what Pudge's contribution is. You don't have Dismember, unfortunately, at this time. So right now, what your contribution is going to be is simply one hook, and then a little bit of slow, which is going to be damaging you a lot more than it's going to be damaging them. I'd mean that in the sense that you're going to be losing a lot of life as well. So let's see what you actually do accomplish in this lane. And after that, we're going to see what you could have done in that place. So pretty much even without you, Windrunner would have killed him. You did get a kill, but sorry, not Windrunner. Drow. Drow didn't really need you to kill. Didn't need you at all to kill Silencer, and Drow would have quite easily killed Tuskar by herself, and also Ogre would have lived regardless of you being there. Now, how much gold did you actually get? You got a total of 200 gold from this kill. On top of that, you denied Drow Ranger, your carry, the kill gold, which is pretty huge as well. So what you could have done in this whole time, if you go back, if you had TP'd in the mid lane, let's look over to the mid lane. There is a full healthy creep wave right here. That is also 200 gold. That is more experience than what you got from taking the kill on the Tuskar at this point in the game. Okay, so not a full creep wave, I guess, because one creep did die. 3 creeps. So that would have been 150 gold, slightly less gold than killing the Tusk, and slightly less XP than killing the Tusk. But at the same time, you would have allowed Drow Ranger to get the gold and XP for Tusk's kill. Now, if you look over at Drow Ranger, she is committing. She's committing to these guys, the enemy lane, the Tuskar as well as the Silencer. She's committing to them. She's losing 200 gold from these creeps. She's not farming those creeps right now. Those creeps are going to die on their own. And keeps calling her Windrunner. Drow Ranger is losing that much gold, and the reason why she's okay with losing that much gold is because she's going to get a kill on these guys. But you take that kill. So what you do is you actually stole Drow Ranger's 200 gold, and for what? For pretty much nothing at all. That wasn't really a good movement. So what you want to do is, before you TP in, especially this early into the game, when you TP in, before you TP in, you want to look over, you want to move your minimap, not your minimap, you want to move your map over here while you're in base, healing up. You want to see what's happening, and you want to consider, you want to ask yourself, if I TP in, what am I actually going to accomplish? Am I going to be able to save my carry? You don't want to TP in to save your support. So you only want to ask yourself, can I TP in and save my carry? No, I can't, because my carry is at full health anyway, and she's not in danger of dying. Can I actually get a kill that my carry and support on their own can't get a kill? So if you think you can, yeah, okay, go ahead. Go and TP, secure a kill, get your carry some more safety in lane, some more easier farm. But when they were all the way over here, then you're obviously what you have to do is you have to move from here all the way. I can't zoom out now. Here we go. You have to move out. You actually took the long way as well. Instead of going from this way, you took this way, and it takes a very long time. That's a lot of time wasted. So especially for a Pudge who wants his levels really, really quickly, that was a lot of time wasted. You should have just TP'd mid. You should have just taken that mid farm and looked for hooks on the Tinker. That's still not a major mistake. That's just a little bit of time wasted efficiency mistake. Now it is 4 minutes in, and the rune has come up. So you want to look to push out this lane. And again, once you go over the Chalk's guide, he'll also tell you how to prepare for the rune. When you have a hero who can nuke down waves, so we're talking about Puck, we're talking about Queen of Pain, we're talking about Pudge to a certain extent, although nuking down lane is not really ideal for Pudge because you have to use rot, and if you start to rot down these creeps, then that means you're going to go down to less than half health, and then Tinker kills you. So ideally you don't want to nuke down the creep wave, apart from using maybe meat hook on the range creep. So that's just about it. Let's keep going. I'm gonna skip a little bit because nothing's happening. Now, the Tinker, I have no idea how the hell the Tinker has the guts to be able to do this against the Pudge, because if you just turn around and hook him, maybe he dies, maybe you bring him down 10 HP or something, but that was an ideal opportunity. Let's see one more time. Right here. And you had a solid second because he was throwing down laser at you, but you weren't actually even looking for the kill. You were just looking to run away. So as Pudge, you really just want to be looking for those hooks under the towers. And every time the enemy comes above, God damn it, I have to pause for these. Every time the enemy comes above this line, or even when he's around this area and you're standing around over here underneath your tower, you look for a hook constantly. Because right now you're letting the Tinker win the lane, which you actually should be winning. And even at this point, you can come all the way up to the 500. Not right now, obviously. Now all the enemy creeps are dead. But you could have just come here. Yeah, you would have taken some harass, but you would have pulled the creep aggro back, and then again you would have constantly been getting the better of the creep aggro. You would have been getting the better of the lane equilibrium, you would have been farming a lot better. Obviously, this is what I'm saying for most of the mid laners, not necessarily for Pudge, although Pudge can obviously use that tactic to get a lot of last hits. But obviously, as Pudge, all your concentration should be devoted to getting that hook into the tower now. You find out, you see that you can't really do much standing there in the mid lane, so you TP down to the bot lane. It's okay. That's a fine thing to do. You're having a tough time in mid, so you TP onto a different lane. And I suspect the Tide must have been calling out for help as well, so that's probably why you TP'd, because they were gonna. Okay, can't even bloody replay. Yeah, Tide was worried about dying here, and if Tiny had not microed his or misused his spells, Tide would have been much lower, and they could have dove the tower. So, yeah, this is a good TP from your part. So, once more, right here, you want to click the opponent, bring the creeps. You want to click the opponent right here. You want to bring these creeps back so that you can safely farm them without being harassed or contested by the enemy. And now you have level 6. Now this is where you have your biggest power spike in the whole game, when you get your level 6. Now this is where you should have a smoke, you should have a TP, and you need to go and kill the highest priority targets. In this particular case, that is Tinker. Obviously, Tinker is in top lane, but as soon as you get him to, obviously your TP is on cooldown as well at this point, but what you want to do is, as soon as your TP comes off cooldown, you want to have a smoke, you want to look for best angle possible on Tinker and get a kill on him. And it's really important to recognize the power spikes on all heroes, regardless of whether you're playing support, mid, carry, whatever. Because if you were playing, Queen of Pain or Puck or something like that, then both Queen of Pain and Puck, their power spike is at level 6 as well. That's when you want to TP in or simply walk into, well, not really walk into a lane, because whether you're going to the top lane or bot lane, usually there's some vision around these areas, and if you're just walking, then they're gonna see you most likely. So you wanna, maybe unless you get a rune, unless you're gonna get a haste or an invis rune, but most likely you want to TP in and use your level 6 on a Puck. That's really good because you can go to the top lane and secure a kill on the offlaner, because that's a stun and you keep them in place. And on Queen of Pain, that's a huge burst, so you can guarantee a kill and secure some more safe farm for the carry. Or you can go down to the offlane and kill the carry of the enemy, which is again a huge gold swing and XP swing, and obviously really good for your team because the enemy carry is lagging behind. So all that good stuff. Because of your TPs all over the place, your farm, and obviously because of Tinker, you had such a hard time farming in the lane. You still, 7 minutes in, you still don't have boots, and I can guarantee you that your support Ogre has boots right now, and you don't. And if you look at Ogre's farm, this is net worth, never mind. Ogre is far, far below you. Where is your farm then? Oh, okay, you bought the magic wand. I don't want to go over that at the moment, so let's not worry about that. But yeah, boots is really important on Pudge. You probably should have looked to get boots before magic. Just a small tip regarding magic wand. You normally, if you have a spammer, or if you think you want some extra mana and health and all that, you want to get magic stick first. And if you find that your magic stick is getting full constantly, don't know how you missed that hook, because that looked like it hit. All right. If you find that you're getting pretty fast charges, and then you want to upgrade to magic wand. You never ever want to spend that much gold early on into the game onto a magic wand, because you really want your boots first, because magic stick is just 200, magic wand is something like 500, so you would have been 300 gold closer to your boots earlier on instead of upgrading to magic wand, because all the magic wand does for you is get you stats. At this point, you still just got 4 charges, and you're not getting any extra charges because you don't really have an enemy who's spamming spells at the moment. So you want to just have a magic stick, and then if you're getting charges, then you want to upgrade to a magic wand. So all you're getting at the moment from the magic wand is 4 stats, which is pretty underwhelming considering you don't even have boots. And this hook guarantee, look at that. That is just, thank you, Valve. So sad days for you that hook didn't hit, because I don't know, it did hit, so I don't know. What are you gonna do? Alright. Next up, you TP here. Alright, always when you TP, regardless of the time in the game, when you TP, before you TP, you want to have a look. You want to quickly click over here. Okay, I can't actually click this. You want to quickly click over here and see what's actually going on. You don't want to just TP blindly, because you don't know what might be happening. You don't know if it's going to be a waste of time for you or something useful or not, and ooh, that is unlucky. Oh god, why did you stop that right click?
Make a henge from my stones.
Radiant's top tower's in bad shape.
Sound.
Alright. I don't know why you cancelled your right click, because that was a kill right there.
Radiant's top tower's hurting.
Cast upon the tower.
Yeah, you were mid animation and you cancelled it, and that would have been a kill.
Make a
Yeah, I must have right-clicked the ground straight afterwards, cancelling.
Yeah, that's quite unfortunate. That is quite unfortunate. And how far did you miss the hook by?
make a henge.
You had the opportunity to hook him constantly here, so you did delay it. Oh, close, very close, very close.
Radiant's top tower.
So not too bad, considering you guys got 3 kills. Yes, you died, but for that trade, that's any day, any day. Wonderful trade. You got a ton of gold, a lot of XP. You are finally above Tinker in the XP graphs. That's already good. Sorry, not XP graph, net worth. So far, apart from a few minor mistakes, you haven't really made any hugely major mistake. Obviously, it is a Pudge, so I don't even know if it's a huge mistake or a small mistake. The fact that you haven't actually, you didn't really look for kills on the Tinker a lot more than you did. Actually, I think you only hooked him once under the tower, and that too, it was like a panic move and a really horrible move from the Tinker. So, all right, not a good opportunity to hook, and there we go. Very nice. That is a guaranteed kill. And can you hook the tiny now? Really bad job this guy did. He should have communicated with him. I'm gonna stun him. You hook, and he stuns. You hook. It's a clean. Oh my god, that is quite bad. The fact that Enigma went for that black hole, that was really bad, because you actually might have. Did he not have stun? He had Malefice. He could have stunned him, and then you could have hooked him, and that would have been a clean kill without needing to use black hole on one person underneath the tower. That was really bad. There's 4 of you, and he used black hole for one person. That is horrible. And I don't know how you keep missing these hooks, because I can almost. This was. Is it a replay bug? Because that is on a that is just ridiculous. I don't even know, man.
No,
All
I
I can-
was thinking the same thing when I was playing at the time.
Okay, I don't know what to say. Let's just move on.
How come Enigma sorry, his ult was still channeling after I hooked him.
Because
that
you're...
normal?
Yeah, that's fine.
There
That's
goes
normal.
Radiant's bottom
That's normal.
tower.
You can... You don't stun your allies when you hook them, obviously. So similarly, force staff. If Enigma is ulting, you can force staff him, and he's not gonna cancel his channel. Similarly, Chaos Knight. Regardless if you do to... Well, you can't actually reality rift your allies, but if let's say Enigma is channeling his spell and you reality rift him, he's not gonna cancel his stun. Similarly, you can't cancel TP with a reality rift. And you can't... I don't think you can cancel TP with Pudge's hook if you do it on an ally, of course. Oh, beautiful. Amazing opportunity. You took it really quickly. Love it. And your Drow Ranger is stuck in a really horrible place. But thank God they don't have vision up here, so... Yep. Now, your job as Pudge, as a your job as a mid laner is not to put wards up. But your job as a Pudge, regardless of what lane you're playing in, is definitely to put wards up. And you don't want to put the conventional, the river... Oops, why is it not working? Okay. You don't want to put the river wards up as conventional. What you want to do is you want to put some Pudge wards up. And what does that mean? That means... Can I not go?
Yeah, shortly on, I told the ogre to put a ward between the two towers in the middle and an aggressive ward where near he is now.
Yeah, you want... Oops. Okay, you want a ward around here. You want a ward around here, over here, so that you can see somebody TPing to the mid tower, and then you can hook them. Doesn't necessarily... Not just necessarily the mid tower, literally any tower at all. Whichever tower you're near, you want to put wards. You want to put wards near that tower so you can see somebody TPing in there. You want to see somebody farming in there. Now, since you're standing over here, that's a good call to put a ward down in the between these two towers. But you could have quite easily put a ward over on this in front of the mid tower as well. That was fine as well. But you need to put that ward. If your supports aren't putting the wards, then you need to do it. Because Pudge cannot play blind, and against Pudge you can't play blind. So the counter to Pudge is putting wards, the way to Pudge is putting wards. So vision is extremely important when you are playing Pudge. Similarly with Mirana, similarly with Clockwork, all of these long-range initiators, and to a certain degree similarly with Storm as well. But all these long-range initiators, you want to be doing this tactic. This vision game. Really crucial. Now, if you notice that you've still got, at 14 minutes in, you've got 17 CS. At 10 minutes as a core, whether it be carry or mid, you want to aim for around 50 to 60 CS. Now, that's obviously not for the 2K bracket. That is more around the 4K bracket. But for you should definitely be aiming for 40 CS. And that's only half of the CS that has been through to the lane by that time. Now, 10 minutes in, you get 82 CS. 82 creeps go to your lane, right, at 10 minutes. And you want to aim for half of that at the very least. You want to have at 10 minutes 40 CS as a carry or as a mid laner. Now, your Drow Ranger is doing a pretty bad job as well. She's only got 54 CS. But if we say she should have half, then that still means 60. So even at the bare minimum, she's 6 creeps behind, which is pretty bad. But compare yourself to Drow, that is a huge difference. 17 and 54. Now, as we discussed, Pudge does not really go and look for CS. He looks for kills. He farms heroes rather than creeps. You've done a pretty decent job of getting 5 kills, but your CS is still pretty underwhelming. And to be honest, I'm not saying that you did a bad job of farming. I'm saying Pudge always does a pretty bad job at farming, and that's why Pudge is not a really good mid laner because he can pretty much do the same thing. You would have had the exact same impact if you had been playing a support Pudge, and that is why Pudge is not very good at as a core as a mid laner because you can't really utilize that all that farm that a core mid laner can get. You can't really get that on Pudge. And even if you do get that on Pudge somehow, then that means you're not utilizing Pudge properly because Pudge really wants to have a presence in all three lanes. He wants to get kills on all three lanes, throw down a hook, so every single lane is scared that they have to think that, oh my god, Pudge might be here at any minute. And that is what you should be doing. And that is what you are doing to a certain degree, but obviously as a mid laner, Pudge in the mid lane, very underwhelming. Not very efficient. Oh, that was slow. That was late anyway. It was quite late. And let's see if this guy saw you. He didn't see you. He was just lucky. Okay. Skip forward a little bit. So far, you haven't actually made a major mistake. You've just made a lot of small mistakes. Nothing game losing, like huge, nothing huge. That was unlucky. You got caught in the nice. All right, let's go back. Let's look at this team fight one more time. You really should have, because there's no vision, right? There is absolutely no vision all over this area. You are standing right here, right next to all this darkness. And where is your team? Your team is all over here. So you want to get close to your team as soon as possible. So what you should have done is you should have taken this route up the stairs as soon as possible, especially because you see that they're going on your team. You went down the river to get there as soon as possible. That's fine. And that actually pretty much got you killed. So nothing you can do about it. That was a death. And denying yourself is pretty much the best case scenario. If I was you, I would have leveled up Flesh Heap 2 levels ago. I probably would have left Rot at 2 points, at least gotten 1 point in Flesh Heap, and then gone back to maxing Rot. At level 9, I would have been 4-3-1-1. Simply because there's so much magic damage, you really, really need that extra magic resistance, and obviously the extra health, strength that is, would have gone a long way. Just the value point in Flesh Heap would have gone a long way. Maybe you still would have died here, but maybe you would have died slightly sore. Maybe you wouldn't have died actually, because you had made it to your high ground and your team was pretty much alive. At the same time, you did manage to occupy the Slardar as well as the Silencer. The Slardar used his AoE stun on just you instead of using it on his on your carry, on multiple people. So that's how Drow Ranger was able to get something like 5 kills here. I think it was a full team wipe, essentially, 1 at a time, something like that. Because I did see 3 people dead before, and now she just killed 1 more. So, all in all, not too bad. Alright, we try to get some more farm. If you have any questions or if you want to interrupt me, go ahead. You don't have to wait for anything. Just if you want to say something like, "Oh, this is not why I did this. This is why I did this." Anything at all, you can just stop me at any time and ask me whatever questions you need.
Yeah, so yeah, just rewatching this now, it's reminding me of that. I already know that I'm a very passive player. I'm always thinking that people can try to kill me. That's why I have to force myself to know my limitations, that I can actually go to some spots. That's why I try to ward this spot so I feel a little bit safer, because I noticed before I did get fucked up because I had no vision.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. You learn from your mistake, and that's extremely important. Um, yeah, you should always be looking to. You should always, whenever you make a decision, you always want to learn from it. Like you got tranquil boots instead of getting mana boots because you were gonna go Aether Lens. So if I was you, I would have probably gone for mana boots first. Considering I have bottle, I would have been okay health wise. So, but you did go for tranquil boots. So you really have to ask yourself in this game, was that the right decision? Did you benefit more from having tranquil boots? I'd say yes, because there was so much nuke from the Tinker, from the what do you call it, Tiny, from like everybody else, that you really would have had a really hard time maintaining your HP with just bottle. So overall, having tranquil boots in this particular game was the right way to go. But in other games, it might not be the right thing to do. In other games, you would have benefited more from having mana boots first, simply because you would have had your Aether Lens at maybe 15 minutes or earlier, and that means you have so much more range on your hook. Instead of 1300, you have 1500 range, and that really, even to this day, it catches me off guard how incredibly broken Aether Lens is on a Pudge. So it's really OP. Basically, would have allowed you to get some more amazing kills. Very nice.
My edge dulls. I love a good slaughter.
You got 16 flesh heaps at 19 minutes. That's pretty good. And really, just your farm is the only thing that I have to complain about. Again, that's not a major mistake because you are playing Pudge. If this was any other mid laner, I would stop the video right now and I would say that's it. You don't need to work on anything other than your farming. That is your biggest mistake at the moment. But because you are playing Pudge, it's not at all a big mistake. It is a small mistake though. Finally, Valve decides to give you a hook. So, on point. So, good job. Ogre has mana boots. You should go close to him and use them. And he's forgotten he has mana boots, so what can you do? I thought he was following you so he could give you mana, but apparently not. Alright. Also, as Pudge, you ideally don't want to be seen in lane unless you're farming. Now, taking farm, like I've been giving you some slack for some shit for not farming, but right now you did decide to farm. But right now you're farming when your carry is right there farming those same creeps. So you really don't want to take that farm or kills from your carry. So ideally, as Pudge, you want to stay away from vision, so that everywhere the enemies are, they're feeling like Pudge could be anywhere near me. Yeah. So like this right now, if Drow Ranger wasn't here, yes, definitely go and farm these creeps. But since Drow Ranger is here, you want to stay out of vision so that these two guys right here, these two guys are scared. Oh, Pudge might be standing around really anywhere around this area, and he could hook us, and we have to play safe. We can't actually go this far out. But because they see you, so they can actually do whatever they want. Yeah, that preempted GG. You've gotten into their heads. All right. You do always want to have a ward. You want to have a ward up here, in that high ground right here, because you need a ward up there to be able to push this tower, and generally for vision around this area. Once you take down the tier 1 here and tier 1 here, you want to immediately put a ward on this area, whether you are support or carry or whoever you are. You want to ask your support, please put a ward on this area right now, so that you can make the most out of taking the tier 1s, these lane tier 1s, and start to control the jungle of the enemy team. Because if they come and try to farm this camp, if they come and try to farm this camp, wherever you are on the map, you see that, and then you can consider, shall we just go in there and kill these guys, because it is obviously going to take them 15 seconds or something like that to take that jungle, or you can just preemptively be sitting around this area, wait for them to come out, go to this far creep camp, and then obviously poke, kill, easy game. All right. Let's see, team fight is about to happen. Let's see what Tide does. Nothing. All right, that was pretty late. Silencer had ulti. I have no idea why Silencer didn't use ulti as soon as he, like, this was the time to ulti, dude. Like, this is, I don't know. Silencer just got his team killed. Alright. I think they're tilted at this point in time. The game is 6-25, so yeah. Yo, did you get a hook? Because he sees you coming. Oh, okay, you've got blink. Oh, you got blink delivered just now. That's nice. you've got what do you call it?
Just let us up.
Yeah, amplified damage on you, and still the guy gets hooked. So. And I think he had Snowball. He did not have Snowball. I think he still had he had a solid, was it 1 second? Yeah, 1 second. 1 second stun and then 2 seconds slow duration. So I don't know. Maybe he could have gotten away. Maybe not. I don't know. Either way, he didn't even try.
How viable is shift queuing or your abilities? Because I'm trying to practice it at the moment. So I noticed with Pudge, you need to get your dismember pretty much on point.
So say that again, please.
How viable is shift queuing your abilities?
I have no idea what you're saying. Hell, fireball, what?
How viable is shift queuing? So when you press shift.
How viable? Oh, okay. Sorry. When you are playing Pudge, I don't know, because you never know if you're actually gonna get the hook or not. And if you do shift queue, then you might actually start moving towards that enemy. It would be pretty nice even regardless. But the thing is, you can always really ulti them immediately. Oops, what button did I press? You can always immediately ulti them while they're in air. And I forgot what other thing I wanted to show you. I should start making notes now. Lane equilibrium. I'm sure that's not the right spelling. And creep aggro. And secondly, Pudge hook plus alt with and without shift. And you know how to shift queue though, right? You shift queue.
Yep.
Okay. So let's see. I don't know because I've never really had a problem with Pudge hook plus dismember. without shift queuing. I never actually considered even shift queuing because you can pretty much ulti them as soon as the hook is about to hit them. You just ulti them. Obviously, if it's just through, uh, if it's a blind hook, you can't actually do that. But if you see them, then you can. Oh, nice. We didn't need to use ulti there actually, but it's fine. I think at
Pretty much
this,
snowball. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
yeah, I think at this point the game is over. Is this Australia server?
Yes.
How is the server? Is it okay?
Yeah,
Or-
I think the tide. Yeah, the servers are fine. A lot of people DC very quickly into games when they lose a couple times, so we just have really shit attitudes when it comes to games.
But it's just Australians, so it's not a lot of people, I guess.
I don't know how big the community is, but normally whenever I queue, because I think I played this game 3 o'clock in the morning, we only waited about 30 seconds
Dire's bottom tower gets
in the queue time.
That's not a lot, especially for 3 o'clock in the morning. But
Yeah.
I'm sure the Australian community isn't that much.
No, it's very small.
Like you should be seeing the same players.
One of my friends was the Tide. Yep. Yeah, one of my friends was a Tide, and he only had about, I think, 15 games to his name. So I was always trying to watch out for him because I knew I was trying to explain to him the basic mechanics of the game.
All right, that explains why it took so long to ulti. You probably were screaming at him, ulti, ulti, ulti. So. All right, so I can pretty much close this game now because looks like you guys won.
Yep.
At this point, there's no way it's going to be a comeback at this stage of the game. Mistakes that you made, there was no major mistake, and that's pretty much probably because of the huge stomp that has started. The Tinker actually didn't get any farm up, and I don't know, for you guys didn't actually delay his boost of travels, but he just didn't get his items up. I don't know why. He did die 7 times. I don't know where he died because that's a huge amount of stats to his name. Even though he wasn't actually pressured in the lane that much, he had a free lane. Very, very honestly, that was a free lane. So I don't know, but you did make a whole lot of small mistakes. Creep aggro, laning mechanics, they were a big part of it. And then I think the biggest mistake of those small mistakes was the constant roam and walking roaming as well. It wasn't like you were TPing in and staying there to get a good hook. You were actually just walking around a lot, and that is a lot of time wasted. That is time that you're not spending on farming. That is time that you're not spending on hooking people. So you do need to, regardless of who you're playing in the mid lane, you need to focus a lot more on last hitting and farming. So that is the biggest mistake I would tell you that you made. But apart from that, it was all a bunch of small mistakes, which when you rewatch this video, you could note down because I've forgotten most of them.